And even though I think it will work out, if I'm making a prediction on how I feel it'll end up going, I think Carson Wentz will play well in this season. But I will say I think that is a weakness because how bad he was last year. And I know all the receivers are injured. Deshaun Watson was out for most of the season. Their number one wide receiver or pick last year, Jalen Reagor, he was injured for most of the year. He was throwing to Fumagale, who was, I think, initially like maybe 6th on their depth chart at the beginning of the year, was maybe Greg Ward, who was probably 5th. But and their offensive line was injured. But I'm not going to completely, wash my hand away and say he still threw 16 touchdowns. He still threw 15 interceptions. He still took 50 sacks. He still threw sub 60% completion percentage. And at times he looked worse than he did as a rookie. I mean, that was his 4th year in the league. Mm-hmm. So with that said, though, I believe in this coaching staff. I believe with that O-line, they will use Taylor and Mack to kind of control the game and just kind of keep Carson's passing attempts down to mid-30s to like high 20 passing attempts. Like if idealized situation, they don't want him throwing 40 times. I think they go 11-6 and win the division.
I'm a little less optimistic than you. I'm saying 10-7, but it won't be because Wentz doesn't have weapons. Because you've got Michael Pittman, T.Y. Hilton. They have some people there that he can throw to. And they also have, as you were saying, an offensive line that can give him a couple of seconds at least. And I just question, to me, last year, he looked like a fighter that had taken too many punches. His confidence was shot. So it'll be interesting to see if Reich can get him back thinking positively and having some confidence. But I say 10-7. And yeah, I think they're the only one out of this group that could make the playoffs.
I say in Frank we trust, man. I think he'll sprinkle some pixie dust on old Carson, bring him back to life. And guys, I'm a Hilton Honors member. Do I get a free TY jersey? T.Y.
Wow.
Hilton. T.Y. Hilton.
You can ask him. I think we know the answer, but
yeah. End of the line. Okay, so you got them. Colts going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they're the only one, and you all can agree or disagree with me. I think they're the only one that makes the playoffs. Obviously, the Titans, they have a shot. But kind of like what Lug said, I don't want to really bet against Derrick Henry, but he's run so hot so many years. It feels like he's due to get injured. I don't want him to get injured, but just how much mileage he's had these last few years, it feels like the wheel is at least going to crack. Hopefully it doesn't come off, and he's so a big a part of it. But even when the Colts make the playoffs, they maybe make it to the divisional round. I don't think they make it to the conference championship. I think unless Carson really becomes a Carson of the year they won the Super Bowl, which I think he come close to that. I don't know if he's ever going to be that guy again. I think that's where they fall out. There's no Super Bowl contender in this division.
Lugs, what you say about that, man? No Super Bowl?
I don't think so. No. I just don't, it's one of those things where you don't see that massive talent coming together right off. But there are some pieces in this division. But, yeah, I don't think they have everything that'll coalesce and make it to the big game.
Second word of the day, man. Coalesce. Good job.
Yeah.
All right, somebody explain this to me. The Peyton and Eli megacast will air on ESPN2, while the regular broadcast will air on ESPN and sometimes on ABC. Peyton and Eli will work remotely, bring in their own guests, and have more of a conversation rather than a standard broadcast with play-by-play and color commentary for the coming season. They're not going to be in the stadium. They're not going to be in the booth. Guys, what is this about?
Well, and I wasn't clear as are they going to be just sitting there watching the game and commenting as it's going along?
Like Mystery Theater 3000 kind of thing? Is that what it's gonna be?
I don't know. I wasn't. I tried to find out. I don't think they know the format. They don't have a host yet.
Well, I don't think there is going to be a host. I think Peyton and Eli are the main kind of quasi co-host, and then obviously there's going to be a rotation of guests. Yeah, I was going to ask you. Well, essentially it's going to be like they've already kind of run this format before on national championship games. On the alternate ESPN channels, they'll have like the coaches kind of because they'll have like if it's Clemson versus Alabama, they'll have the SEC call on one channel and they'll have the ACC call on one channel. But then they have because again, sometimes it's a train wreck and sometimes it's an utter delight. They'll have coaches. Some from like the Big 12, one from like the Pac-12 or whatever the hell it's called anymore.
Pac-14.
And then maybe like which one?
14. It's Pac-14 now? 16, 18?
14. And then like the Big 10, even though it's like Big 17, but they still go by Big 10. They talk over the game. So it'll be like that. I'm sure it'll be more interesting because I just think Peyton is I think he's so smart about the game, and he has enough sense of humor. Again, I think Peyton's funny, but when people I don't think there's that many. This is probably a straw man thing where somebody's like, "Oh, Peyton Manning's hilarious." Like by professional athlete standards, yes, but that's a low bar. And I just find it intriguing because on a few facets. So like. They're going to take eyeballs away from their main telecast.
Right.
So are they just experimenting with this because as long as it's on one of their channels, it counts? Like, because you're going to make the advertising dollar weaker, right? I mean,
you would think. They must know what they're
you're
doing.
Diluting everything by doing this. I just, Peyton's funny bits were written for him for the most part in those commercials that were funny.
Right.
and
Chicken parm, you taste so
Eli,
good.
all Eli's got is a pouty look. I mean, what does he bring to the thing? Nothing. I'm sorry, Eli, you're a sweet kid and all, but, go have a beignet and call it a day.
A pouty look, man.
Well, and also, I guess it's because he's maybe under contract. Like, really, for this thing to have worked, I think it would have been instead of Eli, it should have been Cooper.
I agree.
Right. Because Cooper's legitimately funny.
Cooper's legitimately funny. He's way more polished media-wise. Not to say Eli isn't from living in New York, but still, like, Cooper's way more polished. And also broadcasting-wise, he's more polished than even Peyton. So he can kind of, like, be like the training wheels for Peyton, at least for the first year of this 3-year deal. Like I said, I think it's because he's probably tied up in a Fox contract that they unfortunately can't do anything with it. But I find it interesting because like they've wanted him for Monday Night Football for so long, but like he's doing 10 games each year for these next 3 years, so 30 games. And I think he's doing the first 3 weeks. So they're doing Ravens versus Raiders, Lions versus Packers, and Eagles versus Cowboys. So I guess like are they going to do 3 games on, 1 week off? Or I guess if the game, I don't know.
Do you remember when Jay Leno, they canceled him and they tried to do him at 10 o'clock in primetime on NBC Monday through Friday? Does that kind of reek of that? It was a miserable thing. I don't give this a whole lot of shot.
Well, personally, I think they're looking for their Romo. They're hoping that Peyton is their Romo, and this is the audition for that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Because, I mean, unless Eli just shocks the hell out of me and shows up with something that I want to hear or see, I just, it's a weird concept to me. But hey, ESPN's got to grab for anything they can get at this point. I mean, they're losing viewership left and right. That one experiment just killed them when they got rid of all the old guys. It was like, wait a minute, those guys are the ones people are watching.
They were actually pretty good. You are correct, sir.
I don't know. I'll be interested to watch it just because it'll be different. And that's the thing that I guess I worry about. And I won't say I'm opposed to change, but like I think people when they watch sports they want someone to call the game, and it doesn't sound like they'll call the game. Like they'll try to keep up on it, but like they'll maybe like take a big picture. People like that post game, like where you talk big picture, not while the game's going on. People want to know about the game going on.
Right.
So I don't know. It's interesting and kind of like I think Lugs kind of nailed it. Maybe this is a conniving way that ESPN's trying to get him in the Monday Night Football booth. Like he gets the bug, and then Peyton likes it. It's like, all right, we're gonna rip up this contract. Now you're in the booth. Riddick and Brian Greasy, see you later. So I think Lugs probably has it right. Like this is the only way this thing works or makes any sense. Is it's just to entice him to get in the booth.
I think this is the Puppy Bowl, man. And or go look up that Mystery Science Theater 3000. You know what I'm talking about? Remember those those robots looking at movies?
Oh yeah.
That's what this is. Okay, Lugs, you ready for a little sports of yesteryear?
I believe I am. Yes, sir.
We have a slam bam open for that. From the Wayback Machine to today's machine, he's Lugs, and he's got sports of yesteryear from whatever location he's in tonight. Lugs, take it away.
All right, coming to you from Canton, Ohio. I'm getting ready for that first NFL game. But anyway, here we go through the years. 1916, Giants trade Christy Matheson to the Cincinnati Reds. Didn't help them out a hell of a lot, but there you are. 1938, let's go a little bit of the Olympics. IOC rewards Helsinki, Finland, with the 1940 Summer Olympic Games after Tokyo, Japan withdraws because of the Second Sino-Japanese War. War and erupting again. 1958, bringing it close to Kentucky. Detroit Tigers pitcher Jim Bunning no-hits Red Sox 3-0. 1976, Hank Aaron hits 755th and last home run off Angels pitcher Dick Drago. And get ready, 1984, Yui Hon of East Germany throws a javelin a record 105 meters, and he stabs a Frankfurter. It's a record that still stands. That is sports of yesteryear.
And we thank you, Lugs, from that report from the Frankfurter capital of the world. Might be Frankfurt or Kentucky. We don't know. All right, that's sports of yesteryear. Thank you so much. All right, hey, we wanted to talk about something else here tonight, and that's...
What's happening with name, image, and likeness?
All right, T-Dog, take it away. What's your favorite this week?
My favorite NIL
with
deal
name,
of the week
image, and likeness
is actually it's a group of people. It's the Notre Dame offensive line. They have not one sponsorship, but two sponsorship deals. One with Jets Pizza and one with Mission Barbecue. So, I mean, you talk about the perfect deal. I mean, this is what the NIL is for, right? This is for offensive linemen to, be able to get their grub on and not have to possibly pay for, or at least get paid. So maybe they're, ended up even. They're not actually losing money while going to out to eat.
I like some Jets Pizza now and then. I like that deep dish Detroit style, I think it is.
But I was going to ask you all, like, what other food or restaurant should support like the Notre Dame offensive line?
Well, I mean, any sort of pizza, barbecue, whatever. I mean, because those guys can put away some chow.
Milkshakes.
So, yeah, they could go. Dairy Queen could have a field day with that sort of thing. My favorite.
Yeah.
Usually the guy is mom, but Nick Saban was speaking at the Texas High School Coaches Association, and he let it slip that his quarterback, Bryce Young, making almost seven figures with his deals. He wouldn't elaborate on what the deals were, but making almost seven figures.
What?
Now, think about this. As a freshman, he only threw one touchdown, and he's making seven figures. You got to love that.